What if everything you know about time is a lie? What if time isn't a rigid clock ticking away in the universe, but a fluid experience shaped entirely by your consciousness? In this video, you're about to discover a completely different way of understanding time, inspired by the revolutionary work of Jacobo Grinberg, a thinker who dared to challenge the very foundation of reality as we perceive it. Most of us live under the assumption that time is fixed. Seconds tick, minutes pass, and years slip away, unstoppable and uncontrollable. But what if that's just a story your mind tells you? What if your experience of time is not an external truth, but a creation of your own awareness, a perception shaped by your energy, focus, and attention? By the end of this video, you'll see time in a way most people never have. Jacobo Grinberg was not like other scientists. He didn't confine himself to conventional methods. He explored the intersection of consciousness and reality, blending psychology with meditation and inner awareness. He proposed that reality is not something out there to be observed. It is co-created by the observer. Our brains don't just record reality, they participate in generating it. What most people don't know is how deeply this idea reaches into the essence of time itself. Grinberg suggested that the flow of time emerges from the interaction between consciousness and a continuous energetic field. In other words, time as we experience it may be a byproduct of how our mind engages with energy rather than an absolute truth. You might think this sounds purely philosophical, but Grinberg took it further. He studied how consciousness connects across space and perhaps even beyond time. He experimented with perception, awareness, and energy, showing that our experience of time can shift depending on how present and aligned we are. The implications are staggering. If time is something we construct, then slowing it down, speeding it up, or even reprogramming how we experience it isn't magic, it's a shift in awareness. In this video, we'll explore how conscious energy influences your perception of time, uncover lesser-known insights from Grinberg's work, and reveal practices that could change the way you live every moment. Welcome back to Awakened Synchronicity. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe and join us on this journey beyond the ordinary. Before we talk about the deeper mysteries of time, it's important to understand that time as we know it is not a universal constant. It's a perception created by our minds. We divide our lives into past, present, and future, measure moments with clocks, and mark milestones with calendars. But these are tools, not reality itself. Our experience of time is shaped by how we perceive, focus, and move through life. Moments can stretch endlessly or slip by in an instant, and this shows that time is more about consciousness than about clocks ticking on a wall. Before we dive further, we need to bring in Jacobo Grinberg, a visionary who spent his life exploring consciousness and its hidden powers. Grinberg was fascinated by how our inner energy and attentions shape the world we experience. He believed that consciousness is not just a passive observer of reality, but an active force that creates the framework of our experience, including the very flow of time. Before we examine how energy interacts with time, it's crucial to see how Grinberg approached the mind. He combined psychology, neuroscience, and deep meditation practices to explore what he called the bridge between our inner consciousness and universal energy. According to his research, the way we perceive time is directly influenced by how aligned our energy is with the present moment. When our mind and energy are scattered, time feels chaotic and compressed. When we are fully present and centered, it can feel expansive and abundant. Before we explore practical ways to experience this for ourselves, it's fascinating to note that Grinberg's studies went beyond theory. He conducted experiments on perception, energy awareness, and the subtle connections between consciousness and reality. His work suggests that the flow of time is not fixed or universal, but something that responds to the observer's energy. In understanding this, we begin to see that time is not something outside of us. It is something we live, shape, and can even reprogram through our conscious awareness. Before we go deeper into how consciousness reshapes time, we need to explore some fundamental ideas about how we experience time and how Jacobo Grinberg's work reframes that experience from an inner mental activity into a dynamic interplay of energy and awareness. Time, as most people know it, clocks ticking, calendars flipping, schedules setting the pace of life, is a human invention. Clocks and calendars are tools we created to organize tasks, appointments, and memories. They help us coordinate, plan, and remember. But they are not reality itself. They are just symbols that measure motion and change. What a clock calls 1 minute is simply an agreed-upon label that allows us to synchronize our social lives. Time itself, as a felt experience, doesn't live in the metal gears of a clock or the ink on a calendar page. It lives in the mind, felt and interpreted by the brain. Our brain takes the raw flow of sensory information and organizes it into patterns we call past, present, and future. What we call now is really just a slice of experience, stitched together by perception and memory. According to Jacobo Grinberg's research, our experience of time is intimately tied to consciousness itself. Grinberg proposed that consciousness is not a passive witness, but an active participant in shaping reality. Inner energy, the focus of attention, emotional resonance, mental clarity, influences how we perceive duration. Moments of joy seem expansive, as if time stretches and allows us to savor every detail. A minute spent laughing can feel like a lifetime of warmth. In contrast, periods of boredom or discomfort feel compressed and fleeting, as if time rushes past without notice. This shift in felt experience reveals that time is not a fixed backdrop, but a subjective measure shaped by the state of consciousness. When your inner energy aligns with purpose, with focus and presence, time feels abundant. You notice details, live in the moment, and experience expansiveness. When energy is scattered, stressed, or misaligned, time feels heavy or chaotic. Days can blur together, or hours can feel painfully slow. This happens because your attention, the lens through which experience is filtered, shapes the pace and texture of time's flow. This brings us to a deeper layer of Grinberg's insight. Consciousness is not isolated inside the skull, but interacts with a universal, energetic field. Grinberg called this the synergic field, a continuous space of energy that underlies all experience and connects every mind. Consciousness interacts with this field, and as it does, it influences how reality appears to the observer. Time, then, is not simply something that runs according to physical laws. It is a perception arising from the dance between your consciousness and the flow of this energetic field. Your moment-to-moment awareness, where you place your attention, determines how time is lived rather than observed. Where you focus your attention shapes how time is experienced. When you are fully present in a moment, time seems to slow down as every nuance is felt and processed. Worrying about the future collapses moments into a hurried blur. Past memories drag the mind backward, compressing or stretching the feel of now. In Grinberg's view, consciousness guided by attention and energy alignment is the true architect of time's unfolding experience. Time bends, stretches, and contracts based on the energy you carry and the focus you hold. Moments of deep alignment with your purpose can feel endless and rich, while misalignment can make hours feel like minutes or days feel like years. This is not imagination. It is the way consciousness interacts with energy. The subtle shifts in your awareness create the texture of your lived reality, shaping not just how you experience life, but how life itself appears to unfold around you. When we consider the mind as an active participant rather than a passive observer, the way we measure time changes entirely. Clocks and calendars become secondary, almost irrelevant, while the quality of attention and the flow of inner energy dictate the rhythm of our lives. A day immersed in joy, purpose, and presence can feel infinite, while one filled with worry, distraction, or misalignment can collapse into a blur of fleeting moments. Understanding this is the first step toward realizing that time is not an external master, but an internal creation, shaped moment by consciousness itself. Jacobo Grinberg's work shows that every shift in focus, every realignment of energy, can alter the perception of time. This means that slowing down, stretching, or intensifying moments is possible, not through magic or technology, but through conscious awareness. Your mind, your energy, and your attention are the architects of your temporal experience. By learning to observe, direct, and harmonize your inner energy, you can begin to live not as a slave to the clock, but as a creator of your own time. Time, as we feel it, is a living, dynamic process, not a mechanical sequence. Each thought, each feeling, and each intention interacts with the flow of energy, influencing the rhythm and depth of our experience. Joy, focus, and alignment can expand a single moment into a rich, layered experience, while anxiety, distraction, and scattered energy can compress hours into a fleeting blur. The perception of time is, in essence, a mirror of consciousness, reflecting the state of energy within. This understanding opens a profound door. If time is shaped by consciousness, then energy becomes the tool to mold it. By cultivating awareness, directing attention, and aligning inner energy, we can actively influence how time is experienced. Moments of presence and mindfulness stretch into expansiveness, while moments of misalignment contract into tension. Grinberg's insight transforms time from an external force into a personal experience, revealing that every second carries the potential for expansion or compression, depending entirely on the state of consciousness guiding it. Conscious energy, therefore, is the key to unlocking the secret of time. It is not the clock that determines the richness of experience, but the energy we bring to each moment. Through focus, presence, and alignment, we can live deeply, perceiving each instant as expansive, meaningful, and full. By understanding and harnessing this principle, time becomes not a limitation, but a canvas, one that our consciousness paints with every thought, feeling, and attention we bring to it. The way we live, the way we act, and the way we direct our inner energy all shape how time is felt and perceived. Every moment contains the potential to stretch infinitely or collapse instantly, depending on consciousness and energy alignment. Grinberg's teachings remind us that we are not mere passengers in time, we are creators of its texture and rhythm. By mastering attention, aligning energy, and embracing presence, we transform time from an external measure into an intimate reflection of our consciousness. Moments of flow, deep focus, and aligned energy feel timeless because consciousness and energy merge, creating an experience that transcends conventional temporal boundaries. In contrast, scattered attention and misaligned energy fragment time, making it appear to rush or stagnate. Recognizing this allows us to step beyond the illusion of clocks and calendars and enter a space where time is felt, lived, and consciously shaped. Every decision, every act of awareness, and every intentional alignment of energy contributes to how time unfolds in our experience. Time is not a constant, it is a fluid, living dimension, deeply intertwined with consciousness. By observing, understanding, and directing our energy, we begin to perceive time, not as a relentless master, but as a flexible, responsive partner in the creation of our lived reality. In this view, consciousness is the artist and energy is the medium, and together they shape the flow of time. A joyful, present, and aligned mind can stretch a single moment into a lifetime of richness, while a distracted, anxious, or misaligned mind can shrink days into fleeting shadows. Time, therefore, is not measured externally, but experienced internally, and every shift in energy, attention, or focus reshapes the temporal landscape of our lives. This is the essence of Jacobo Grinberg's insight, that time is not a rigid external phenomenon, but a dynamic, conscious experience. The rhythm of life is dictated not by clocks, but by the state of consciousness, the flow of energy, and the focus of attention. Every moment holds the potential to expand, contract, or transform based on how consciousness engages with the energetic field around it. By understanding and harnessing this principle, we begin to live, not according to the clock, but according to the quality of our presence, attention, and energy. Awareness, energy alignment, and focused attention become the instruments through which we experience time. Each moment carries infinite potential, unfolding according to the conscious state of the observer. By cultivating presence, harmonizing energy, and directing attention intentionally, we reshape the way time is felt and lived, transforming it from a mechanical sequence into a vibrant, flowing, and deeply personal dimension of consciousness. Time, as Jacobo Grinberg teaches us, is not an external ruler, but a reflection of inner energy. It expands, contracts, and bends according to our focus, alignment, and awareness. Every moment becomes an opportunity to shape the experience of time itself, turning life from a series of measured ticks into a living, flowing, and conscious journey. Breaking free from linear time begins with a shift in perception. Most people live as if life is a straight line, moving from past to future, dictated by hours and minutes. We rush to complete tasks, worry about deadlines, and constantly anticipate what comes next. But Jacobo Grinberg teaches that this linear view is a construct of the mind, not reality itself. Life is better understood as a series of moments of energy, each carrying its own rhythm and texture. Every thought, feeling, and action is a pulse of energy, and time becomes a reflection of how we move through these pulses. When we see life this way, the mind stops obsessing over mechanical time and begins to notice the richness of each moment, the flow of energy, and the depth of presence. One of the most effective ways to step beyond linear time is through meditation and awareness practices. When we meditate, the constant tick of the clock fades, and attention turns inward, observing the breath, noticing bodily sensations, or simply being aware of thoughts without judgment, slows the mind and allows moments to expand. Grinberg emphasized that these practices are not merely for relaxation, they recalibrate consciousness. They align personal energy with the flow of the universe, enabling each instant to be felt fully. In this state, a single breath can feel like an eternity, and awareness of a fleeting moment can feel profound. By practicing meditation, we experience time as an expansive, living phenomenon, rather than a rigid line. The mind and body are deeply interconnected, and stress distorts time perception. When the body is tense and the mind is overburdened, minutes can feel heavy and hours can slip by unnoticed. Anxiety accelerates the sensation of time, while tension compresses it, creating the illusion that life is moving too fast or dragging endlessly. Relaxation, mindful breathing, and energy awareness expand perception. As tension dissolves, moments stretch and life feels richer. Grinberg's research shows that energy flowing freely through a relaxed body allows consciousness to inhabit the present fully, making time vivid, textured, and alive. Conscious reprogramming of time is possible when attention is focused and energy is aligned. By directing awareness intentionally, we can stretch or compress subjective time. Deep engagement in meaningful tasks can make hours feel short but deeply fulfilling. Conversely, expanding awareness can make brief moments feel abundant and profound. This principle applies directly to creativity, productivity, and personal growth. When energy and focus are harmonized, we enter states of flow where time serves us rather than limits us. A creative project, a problem-solving session, or a meditative practice can feel timeless, as consciousness and energy merge seamlessly. For practical application, daily mindfulness exercises are powerful tools. Spend a few minutes each day observing the present moment. Notice your breath, the sensations in your body, or the sounds around you. Avoid labeling or judging experiences, simply observe. As this practice deepens, your perception of time shifts. Moments become richer, attention sharpens, and energy flows more freely. Observing thoughts without attachment and redirecting attention intentionally trains consciousness to inhabit the present fully. Over time, this rewires perception, turning time from a source of pressure into a tool for awareness, creativity, and fulfillment. The impact of consciously shaping time is profound. Stress decreases because the mind is no longer trapped in anticipation or regret. Decision-making improves because focus is sharp and energy is aligned. Creativity flourishes because consciousness engages fully with the present moment. Productivity rises not through frantic effort but through deep, intentional engagement. Even mundane tasks transform when approached with mindfulness and energy awareness. Life becomes a series of rich, energetic moments rather than a series of ticking minutes. When attention, awareness, and energy align, subjective time stretches. Moments of deep focus or aligned energy feel expansive and full of meaning. Misaligned energy compresses time, making hours feel fleeting or oppressive. Grinberg's insights reveal that time is not a fixed external measurement, but a dynamic experience shaped by consciousness. Each thought, feeling, and intentional focus modifies the texture of lived time. A day spent in flow can feel long and abundant, while a day filled with distraction and stress may collapse into a blur. Conscious awareness allows us to inhabit time fully, making life richer, deeper, and more satisfying. By cultivating mindfulness and energy alignment, we transform time from a mechanical measure into a living, responsive dimension. Stress diminishes, focus improves, and moments become meaningful. Conscious attention allows ordinary experiences to become extraordinary, and life unfolds with clarity, richness, and presence. Time, then, is not something we endure, it is something we co-create with consciousness and energy. Simple daily practices reinforce this transformation. Observing breath, noticing sensations, and intentionally directing attention expand subjective time and deepen presence. Energy alignment and mindful awareness make minutes feel abundant and alive, enhancing creativity, productivity, and personal fulfillment. Grinberg's teachings show that attention and energy shape how time is experienced, turning life into a conscious, flowing journey where every moment carries richness and meaning. The mind-body connection ensures that relaxation and presence support each other. Tension and distraction distort time, while alignment and awareness expand it. By harmonizing energy, focusing attention, and practicing mindfulness, moments stretch, stress diminishes, and creativity flourishes. Life becomes a continuous, conscious interplay of energy and awareness, where time is flexible, abundant, and alive. Conscious energy allows subjective time to be shaped intentionally. Every moment carries potential for expansion or compression, depending on focus and alignment. Grinberg's insights reveal that by inhabiting the present fully, observing energy and directing attention, we can experience time as abundant, flowing, and rich. Life is no longer dictated by clocks and calendars, but by consciousness, energy, and awareness. Through daily awareness and energy practices, we reshape the experience of time. Stress fades, creativity rises, and focus sharpens. Life becomes an unfolding of consciously experienced moments, each rich with depth, clarity, and presence. Aligning attention and energy transforms how moments are felt. Minutes become expansive, hours become vivid, and life is experienced with richness. Consciousness shapes time, making each moment meaningful, abundant, and alive. Mindfulness, energy alignment, and awareness turn ordinary experience into a flowing, conscious journey where time is flexible and life is fully present. By observing the present, aligning energy, and focusing attention, we actively shape the rhythm of life. Moments expand, creativity flourishes, and fulfillment grows. Grinberg shows that time is a living, flexible experience, and mastery of attention and energy allows life to be rich, intentional, and deeply satisfying. Time is a reflection of consciousness. With mindful attention and aligned energy, ordinary moments transform into expansive experiences. Flow, focus, and creativity deepen, while stress diminishes. Grinberg's teachings reveal that time perception is not fixed but responsive to consciousness. Each instant carries the potential to be fully lived, abundant, and meaningful. Through intentional awareness, energy alignment, and mindful presence, subjective time expands. Life becomes a series of vivid, fully experienced moments. Grinberg's insights show that by mastering attention and energy, we reshape how time is felt, turning life into a conscious, flowing, and richly lived experience. Time is not a rigid, unchangeable force. It is flexible, shaped by your consciousness and the energy you bring to each moment. The way you focus your attention, align your energy, and inhabit the present directly influences how time is experienced. By practicing mindfulness, cultivating awareness, and consciously directing your energy, you can stretch, expand, and even reprogram your perception of time, making every moment richer, deeper, and more meaningful. If you found this insight helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, Awaken Synchronicity, for more teachings on consciousness, energy, and living life with awareness. Join us on this journey to reshape your perception of reality and unlock the true potential of your mind.